Hello there, welcome to Bryan Lomax Movie Talk and my ranking of the Final Destination franchise. I have just reviewed all of these films recently, so I'm not going to go into them in a great deal of depth here. If you want to know my thoughts on them, please do go and check out the reviews. But I thought I'd do a ranking video just to tie up this series. I'm going to start with what I think is the worst film and work my way up to the best. At number 5, because there are 5 of these, I'm going to put The Final Destination, which is the 4th film in the franchise. I think in some countries it is just called Final Destination 4. Over here it was called The Final Destination. Primary reason, it's just duller than the rest. You know, it follows the formula. All of these films have a formula which they stick to like glue. It does come down to how entertaining the opening set piece is and the subsequent deaths that come after. And unfortunately, in this one, they were a bit dull. There's some characters in it that just really scrape the bottom of the barrel. One in particular, Hunt, who I personally think is prime candidate for biggest douchebag in a horror franchise, over and above Trent from the Friday remake. And that's all I will say on that matter. At number 4, we've got Final Destination 2. I went into this for this review series thinking that this was going to be my favourite. From memory, I seem to remember it being the favourite. I think that opening set piece for me was always quite memorable. It was certainly a step up from the first one with regards to the set piece. But after that set piece, the film kind of does take a bit of a nosedive. Ali Larter doesn't quite make the impact that she should, being the returning character from the first film. And most of the characters do make rather stupid decisions, and they are pretty much caricatures. They're there to be killed, nothing more. I think there are some entertaining death sequences in it, obviously, as there are in most of the films in this franchise, The Final Destination notwithstanding. It does, like I say, it does enough to be entertaining, but it's not quite entertaining enough. It's not quite as solid as the other films with regards to the way it's written. It just feels like they were maybe a bit too quick to just get on with it, get a sequel out there. And not really think it through and not bring anything new to the table, really. And number 3, we've got Final Destination, the first film. Yeah, I think that the opening 20 minutes, opening 25 minutes, really solid. I really like how they set up the concept of the film. It's very strong. The set piece at the beginning is also very strong, although compared to the other films, it does suffer from a lack of budget. It's not quite as extravagant as the big set pieces from the other films, but in the writing side of things, it is very solid for the most part. I do think though that once the concept kicks into gear, once death starts stalking these people, the quality does dip a bit, and mainly because the characters I'm just not on board with for the most part. You know, we've got one character who's a douchebag all the way through it, suddenly becomes not a douchebag at the end. The main character is played by someone who doesn't have a right lot of acting ability, shall we say. Although, to be fair to him, that's kind of the same mostly across the board for all of these films, except for one, which we will get to. I feel like the ending's a bit weak. The ending it fizzles out rather than bangs for me. I'm not talking about the ending with the sign that comes down and kind of heads towards him at the end, but the climax that isn't really the climax, the one that you think is the ending, but obviously isn't until you get the stinger at the end. So yeah, but all in all, still a very good opening kind of film to the franchise. I can see why some people really love it, but for me, just a bit too weak in the writing and the characters. And number 2, I'm going to put Final Destination 3. Now, this one, I think, probably has the weakest of the opening set pieces. The thing with the roller coaster, it's got the most potential because roller coasters, quite frankly, scare the crap out of me. I don't like them. I don't like the loss of control. Going into this was the one that I feared most, I guess, due to what could happen. And I just think because of a lot of the green screen work, a lot of the timings, it kind of looks a bit hokey. The special effects in it don't quite work very well. One particular scene in which a guy's kind of hanging on even though it's spinning round, and there's just no way he'd be able to. So that was quite weak for me. Where this film succeeds, where kind of none of the others do really, is the main central character, and a few of the characters that are around her as well, but primarily because of Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Her performance is a cut above the rest of the actors that we get throughout this franchise, but also they do some stuff with her character that makes me warm to her considerably. So when she's kind of facing death, she knows that death is stalking them, she goes out of her way to try and make it up with her sister that she has a bit of a frayed relationship with. She realises that life is too short, and there's a scene in which she reaches out to her, which I found genuinely moving, which is something I can't say about any other scene in this franchise, because it's not that kind of series, you know. But so it was nice to have that moment, and it was nice to have this character. And a good performance from Winstead, which is a testament to her as an actress. So yeah, that's really where it succeeds mostly, but the death scenes as well are pretty good, it must be said. Even though the opening set piece isn't, the single death scenes throughout the rest of the film are quite good. So yeah, so that's why this film for me gets to be number 2. Yes, it goes through the motions. Yes, it does. Nothing new in that respect. It's the same story still, again, but that's the same criticism that can be levelled at every single sequel after the first one. It does just repeat what the first one did. It just changes the venue, I guess. So yeah, Final Destination 3 at number 2 for me, which obviously means that at number 1 I've put Final Destination 5. And the reason for that for me is it just has the most fun. I had the most fun with it, and that's mainly because it has the single best action set piece of the entire franchise. You know, the big one, the one that kind of sucks us in, the premonition, so to speak. Out of the 5 premonitions, that's the best one. I feel it's the best orchestrated. The bridge collapse, really great special effects, really grisly death scenes, and then. Again, I think it also has the best ending. I like the fight scene between the two guys. I like the fact that everything comes to a head between them. And I like all the over-the-top death scenes that go throughout the film. The eye one with the laser eye surgery just makes me cringe. The gymnast going down. Yeah, they push them in this 5th film. I just think they're bloodier, they're grislier. And as a result, they kind of make me laugh in many respects. It's so over the top that you do end up kind of laughing. The franchise as a whole, like I say, it's nothing particularly special. It's a high concept franchise. You come to it because of that concept and to see what kind of over the top death sequences you can get. And in that respect, the 5th film, I think, does it the best. If you could take the character or the characters from the 3rd film, put them in to the 5th one, I think you would have a really good 4-star movie, but unfortunately they didn't. So at best, across the board, what you've got is a bunch of 3-star movies, except for that 4th one, which was just a bit lower for me. So yeah, a good franchise, one that I probably will revisit again in the future. It's entertaining, but it's nothing more than that really. But yeah, so there you go. That is my ranking of the Final Destination films. But what about you? How would you rank them? 5 movies. Comment down below, let me know what your ranking is. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time, cracking.